Now, this new Abomination uniform, I almost didn't make a review for this because it's clear cut as a winner, but for a very small niche. The niche is Titan Hulk. It's very straightforward. We'll go over this uniform for sure, but I just want to make it clear that if you want to make your Titan Hulk as strong as possible, then this is kind of a no-brainer. You kind of need to pick up Abomination's bioweapon seasonal uniform. It's full cost crystal, $17.50. Just keep in mind, when it goes off sale in a few days, it won't come back for another year. So your Hulk will, not have that bonus for a whole year. Now, what is that bonus exactly? Well, if you take a look, it's for Gamma Allies, which admittedly could include Red Hulk, and probably will include Red Hulk in like February or March when Brave New World comes out. The new Captain Falcon movie with Harrison Ford. It'll include that Red Hulk. And then it might include at some point like Tier 4 She-Hulk and maybe Tier 4 Cho in the future. But it's going to give 45% ignore dodge and then 60% increase damage to heroes and villains. Now, a lot of people are pointing at that and saying, well, that's kind of, isn't that worse, Alex? Because if you look at the old one, it was 45 and 45, which sure is, it's a little bit less, right? It's 25% less. But it gives 20% chain hit. Isn't 20% chain hit better than ignore dodge? It is. 20% chain hit is better than 45% ignore dodge. However, we can learn something from this comparison of these two uniforms for this character, in that with the newest Hulk uniform, they gave him chain hit. So he didn't have chain hit damage before, but now he has chain hit. He has 15% chain hit on this uniform when attacking. And if you go ahead and you look here, actually he had 15% before. Anywho, maybe it was that uniform, the Fear Itself uniform, that gave him the chain hit. No, I don't know. I'm talking on my ass. Okay, it was Immortal Hulk. Anyways, Hulk's had chain hit for a long time. The point is, chain hit damage does not stack. It just takes the highest number. At least that's what it seems like with Hulk, because you're getting such a big bonus from the new Abomination uniform, despite the fact that you're losing the chain hit. You would imagine, even though the 60% damage to villains and heroes is a 15%, it's 15% increased, that you would imagine that, it'd probably be a wash, right? It would be like basically the same. But no, this uniform is clearly the winner as in terms of best support over the base model Abomination. The other thing I wanted to test in the video that we will get to in a bit here is the artifact. How much does the artifact help? Because his artifact gives all, I believe, Gamma Allies. It gives all Gamma Allies, increase attack, which is not going to matter for Hulk, but then the increased HP, that really matters for Hulk. And the best news that I have for you guys is that whether you get his artifact at 6 stars or 3 stars, I shouldn't say 3 stars, at least 4 stars. It doesn't matter. So you really do not need to be hunting for or spending selectors on a 5-star or 6-star version of this artifact, even if you are a mega Hulk fan. And I'll tell you why. I'll explain it in the math here really quickly. Ignore the top line here. The bottom line says 10% HP and 0.1 of instinct. So 10% and 0.1, that says for a 6-star artifact for Abomination. Now I'm going to go and I'm going to grab his artifact right now with a selector because I do want it. But I'm so confident in this decision that I can just show you guys right now. We're going to go ahead and use this selector, these tokens that I've saved up for a long time, and boom, we're going to get it here. I can just show you here. Here, it's 20% attack and then 6% HP with 0.1. So I'm going to go ahead and select this. And you can, when you look at the difference becomes 4%. So that's the reality. The difference between is literally 4% HP between the 4-star version of Abomination's artifact to buff Hulk and the 6-star version, because it only changes from 6 to 10%, and then the 0.1 is exactly the same. So that scaling is exactly the same. So this is a really nice this is a situation where it's really nice that they went ahead and gave his they went ahead and gave his artifact basically like the same effect, whether it's 4 stars or a 6 stars. So that's really nice because you don't have to get a high version of the artifact. But anyways, what I want to test now is I'm going to test the old uniform with the artifact and see if it can make up for what it's lacking versus the new uniform. First test here is stage 39 of Kang, and we're just going to go for a minute and see how much damage we are cranking out. Old uniform with the artifact versus new uniform with the artifact as well, of course. And we're going to use basically the same rotation. The nice thing here about Hulk is he's very consistent in terms of the rotation. And also, it's consistent across game modes. It's basically always the same rotation. And he's so tanky that you can just... We will respect the lasers because I don't want to get one-shotted. But, yeah. Besides that, we're good to go. So, 13 bars at about 30 seconds in. At 3 seconds left on the... 5th skill cooldown, we pop the tier 3 for those of you wondering how we're playing Hulk right now. And then I usually just disengage with about 1 second left in order to pop the tier 3, in order to not start the next rotation a little too early. We can take this for sure. So we almost don't take it. Okay, so we don't actually get to the next phase. I was really hoping we would phase change him. We get down to about 34 bars. Now, some of you may think that this test is inconsequential because I said earlier that the new uniform is straight up better. But now that you've introduced another point of support in the artifact, it's possible that the new uniform doesn't perform as well as it did before. And so you can kind of narrow the gap on the two with just that. And so maybe out there, right, this maybe doesn't matter for everybody, but for certain players who have the, have Abomination and have the artifact, but are thinking, do I really need the uniform? Well, these tests will help you answer that question, because in some cases, the uniform is more expensive to get than the artifact, right? You can just farm the artifact for free, basically. Obviously, it's chance to get it, to drop, but yeah. Okay, we're going to start this rotation here. So yeah, this definitely seems like more damage. We're going to have to tank this. We also get him here, so we're about 7 seconds faster, and we're absolutely going to phase change him with about 3 to 4 seconds left. So we did more damage in less time. I would say this puts his damage, 10-15% higher with this uniform and artifact combo. Second test here, big fan of this one. This is stage 59 of Gene. I had such a hard time with this one back in the day because of the characters that were available at the time. But Hulk makes this super duper easy, especially now with the Abomination support. You just have to run away from the attacks that boom in your face because they boom in your face. We're gonna co-op, and then we're gonna wait for her to dash, and then we're gonna tier 3. A little bit awkward there. Oh, we are. We're a little bit behind. That's okay. We had to disengage anyways. Okay. Yeah, that was a weird kind of fragmenting on the visuals there. She dashed, which is unfortunate. Okay, so we're only going to get down to about, I'd say 38 bars. We can still comfortably do this, but only about 38 bars there. We'll play it for the same intro to make sure that we keep things consistent with the 2 fireballs into the dive bomb into the dash. But otherwise, if I were trying to run this as fast as possible, I would reset for the attack that she does, the pattern that she does, where I'm going to co-op, where she dashes first. It's way easier to do the damage that way. You can see his burst damage is quite a bit higher now. Gonna play it the same way. Wait for the... No dash. Okay. Yeah, dash after. Okay, so we are playing it the exact same way. Just gonna dive bomb here. But you can already tell the damage is higher. Yeah. So we get to 35 bars. You can call it 34. So yeah, ahead by about 4 bars. Again, it's like a 10 to 15% increase. Doesn't seem to me that the artifact is really helping the base model catch up in any meaningful way. I know that the buff is the same across both, but it doesn't necessarily mean that the one that's better is going to maintain the exact amount of damage increase versus the other one. Just because of the way that HP scaling works with Hulk. Finally, the ABX test, probably the most important for big-time Hulk players. We're just going to do the first minute here. I hate Silence Season. It's a piece of trash, but what we're going to do here is just test out the old uniform versus the new uniform, again, with the artifact, and see how it goes. It's exactly the same rotation as before. We can keep Black Widow Striker. Probably debatable between my Black Widow Striker build and Ghost Rider, but yeah, it's all pretty much the same otherwise. Which is nice for consistency. We're gonna push one more tier 3 combo and hopefully we get all that. Otherwise, this has been a really consistent score, about 8.4 before the jump, before the roar. As for the new uniform, let's go ahead and take a look here. Same rotation, same everything, and we're trying to beat about 8.4 million. Let's see what happens here. I'm hoping you can see a pretty big difference, but we'll have to wait and see. Doing pretty good right now. Again, gonna try to squeeze in one more rotation here at the end. But we did hit the same score. Yeah, it doesn't seem like a lot of score. For ABX, like big time heads, this is meaningful. Again, this is only 150 grand score difference between the first, before the first roar to after. But 150,000 is gonna, add up to probably at least 500,000 more. And then again, when you have a better run, that could be 600k, that could be 700k added to your score with basically the exact same gameplay and style and everything like that. So yeah, I overall, it was kind of a no-brainer to review this one and say, yeah, it's better. It's his first uniform as well, so that's huge. Obviously, it changes his playstyle around and makes him a lot better. And again, that's without a custom gear testing for support, so you could give him a liberation or you could give him an insight depending on what you have on someone like Taskmaster or whatever other second support you're using to pair with Hulk, whether it's Bullseye, etc. But yeah, it's kind of a no-brainer. Good uniform. Kind of wish he was better standalone for PvE or at least PvP or something. But it seems like they just went fully into the support category, and that's kind of where he's going to sit for the time being. So yeah, I might do another review later because I just think the uniform is really, really cool. So I might, when I'm messing around with CTP unequips, I might go ahead and give him something just to showcase some PvE action, because I think he has some really nice animations with all the goo and the slime and the growth and the kind of like green explosions. Kind of reminds me of the, the Immortal Hulk, when he was green and there's all the green in his skills. It's all red now because he's Titan. But anyways, yeah, that's going to be the review. Hit me up in the comments down below. Let me know what you think of the new Abomination. Thanks so much for watching the video. Smash the like button if you enjoy the content, and I will see you in the next one. Take care.